welcome back to my channel. So I'm currently at the airport waiting for my flight. My flight is at 1 a.m. and it's like 8 p.m. I arrived at 8 a.m. today, so I've been here since morning. It was something that was going on in my mind, and I just decided to yap about it. For those of you who don't know me, I don't think I've ever officially introduced myself online. I am Sharvani, that's my name, but people call me Shar, and I go by Shar online as well. I am an Indian, and I'm currently studying abroad in Korea, and I've been studying abroad in Korea for almost 2 years. And yeah, I am flying back to Korea for the third time now. I came back home for winter break, and the spring semester starting soon, so I'm flying back. What I wanted to talk about in this video is about taking risks and why you should take risks, and how taking risks can change your life. How one of the biggest risks that I've taken so far in my life. So for me, my only dream growing up was studying abroad, was dropping out of my university. Like, I literally had no plan, and moving to Korea with no plan. Like, it was one of the biggest risks that I took. I had no backup plans as well. And it somehow worked out for me because I decided to believe in myself. After graduating from high school, I applied to this university abroad. I won't be revealing which university it is. I decided to apply. Honestly, it was so new. It was so foreign for me because I did not have anyone around me who studied abroad after like high school, after 12th grade. And I thought it was almost impossible for me to do that. Plus, I did not go to an international school. I went to like a normal CBSE school till my 10th grade, and then for 11th and 12th I went to like a local school. So for me, I was scared. I was really scared, nervous. I also felt like I couldn't do it. I had a lot of people around me who made me feel like I'm dreaming too big, but I just wanted to follow my dreams. So I was like, you know what, I'll just apply for this university. And back then I was so confident with myself. I think one of the reasons why I was so confident was because of my grades. I was a straight A student, a lot of extracurriculars, and I was pretty confident. So because I was good at everything, I was super confident. I felt like I had a perfect student profile, and I would get into whatever university I wanted to get into back then. So I applied right after right after I graduated high school. I decided to apply to that university. I applied. I did not know how university applications abroad worked, and they also asked a lot of documents that my school did not issue, so I had to go to the principal, request them to issue. My parents wanted me to also apply to this university in India as a backup in case the university abroad didn't work out. I was kind of annoyed when my parents suggested that, because I was pretty sure I was gonna get into that university, right? But then I just applied to a university in India because just to please my parents. And I did apply, but I was like, I'm not gonna go to that university. But I got rejected from the university, and I ended up going to my backup university. And the thing with my backup university is that I hated going there because it is basically in my hometown. I was born and brought up there. I did not want to be 19 or 20 and still be in my hometown. I literally knew everyone there. Like, literally everyone and everything. Nothing was new for me. I felt like I was not stepping out of my comfort zone, and I think that was one of the lowest period of my life. I've never been that low ever in my life. I think when I was 19, 18 or 19 back then. I still remember how I did not want to go on the first day, like, to that university, because I just hated it there. I was always sad, and I was like, I'm not gonna make any friends here. I'm literally not gonna talk to anyone, because I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna graduate from here and then move abroad, because I was like, I will try a master's abroad at least, because that was my only goal back then. But I was feeling trapped. I hated each and everything there. And I think that also affected my mental health a lot. And there were also other things that happened back then which made my mental health worse. A lot of other factors. I felt like I unlocked a new version of me. When I got rejected from that university, the first university that I applied to, it was like a slap on my face. That was the first rejection I ever faced for someone who always got everything they wanted. I was like, if I want something, I'll get it. Getting rejected from that university was heartbreaking. That was my first heartbreak. And that also affected the kind of person I became later on when I attended the university in India. My confidence was super low in the way I was acting and also in the way I was making decisions. But I think the rejection was necessary. Right now, I'm at a point in my life where I have had so many rejections and I'm not scared of rejection. I've applied to so many jobs, so many internships, so many interviews that did not go well and I got rejected from. So, rejection doesn't bother me anymore. But back then I was like, if I'm doing something, I need to get it. I am not allowed to fail, which was very toxic. I did university for 1 year in that uni in my hometown, right? And I did complete 1 year and I was like, that was the lowest point in my life. My mental health was worse, like literally so bad. And also other factors which made it even worse. I think I also started to develop social anxiety back then. It's very scary to say because I've always been super extroverted. Even in my high school, like I used to go to like these speech competitions and I used to sing in front of like a huge crowd and everything. And for someone who was like that to develop social anxiety, my hands and legs would shake when I was giving presentations and I hated that version of me. For social anxiety, there were a lot of other factors. Oh, that was also the time when I moved out of my parents' house at 18 when I got into this university because I was like, if I cannot get out of this town, then at least I'm getting out of my parents' house. Like, I need to get out of my comfort zone. I need to do something that is at least different, at least one thing. I'm very grateful that my parents agreed. It took a lot to convince them, but I was finally able to do that after a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And yeah, I was living alone in an apartment, and it was not the best experience, y'all. I was extremely lonely, like literally lonely. I used to cry in my apartment every single day. It was so hard for me to wake up and go to class when my apartment was literally 10 minutes away from my university. And one of my professors used to call and tell my dad and be like, her apartment is literally 10 minutes away. Why is she late? What is she doing? Do I regret moving out of my parents' house at 18? No, I don't. I've become much stronger, even though that was the lowest point in my life. I don't regret doing it. I would do it again. And back then, I didn't even have really good friends around me or like the kind of friends that aligned with the kind of person I wanted to be. And I was also not in the right state of mind to set boundaries with the friends I had or like literally saying yes to a lot of things knowing that they did not serve me or that did not align with me. I was literally in situations where I was being treated like shit. I did not, and I knew it, but I wasn't in the right mental state to do anything about it. Now, when I think about it, I am literally not judging myself and being like, oh, I should have done this, I should have stood up for myself, blah, 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 because I know how hard it was, but we've learned. I think my first rejection, it broke me, like it completely broke me, and yeah, I was just at my worst. I went from someone who would literally get like A in all her exams, like above 90% in all her exams, to someone who failed in her exams in uni, and I would get panic attacks, anxiety attacks before my exams. I literally could not concentrate or focus for hours. But back in my high school, I would study for like 15 to 16 hours straight, but I wasn't able to study these simple topics, and I would just sit and cry for hours. Like I was the kind of person who would never cry for studies. I, in fact, enjoyed studying, and my parents, they never really forced me to study. Like, I would watch movies with my parents the night before the exam, and then I would pull an all-nighter and study, and then still get 98 or 99 in the fucking exam. I decided to take the risk because I knew that my environment was making me sick, and that's when I made the decision of dropping out from my college. And the first person I said this to was my dad, because I felt like once I convinced my dad, it would be easier to convince my mom. My parents are like those typical strict, traditional, conservative Indian parents, and it is very scary when you go to your parents and you're like, oh yeah, I want to drop out from college. And back then, when I was considering dropping out from college, let me tell you, I had nothing in mind. Like, I literally had nothing in mind. But all I knew was I wanted to get out of this country. And I remember the day I had the conversation with my dad. It was the last final exam of second semester. My dad came to pick me up. I was sitting in car with dad, and we reached home, and I was like, Dad, I think I want to drop out from college. And dad was like, I was very scared. I was like, what if dad gets mad at me? What if he screams at me? But that was very patient. Dad was like, okay, what are you going to do next? Do you have any plans? And honestly, back then, I did not have any plans, but I was like, I think I need some space and time to think about it. But I had one skill at that time. I started studying Korean since 2019. So I was perfectly fluent in Korean, and I also had topic 4 in my hand back then. And if I did go to Korea, I could actually use it, because I was fluent and I had topic 4. So when my dad asked me what I wanted to do, I was like, I think I'll go to Korea because my topic will expire in an year anyway. So I want to go to Korea and put my topic into use. For those of you who don't know what topic is, it's a Korean language proficiency test for foreigners. So there's level 1 to level 6, and I got level 4 all by self-studying. I did not attend any fancy, crazy, expensive classes. I literally studied my ass off every single day, and I got level 4. Level 4 is like intermediate, and level 6 is the highest, right? So if you have level 4, you can basically get jobs in Korea, but I knew that it would be hard for me to get jobs in Korea because I was just 18 back then and I did not have a university degree. But I knew that I would make a name for myself or do something if I moved to Korea. I was confident, but I was also at my lowest point back then. I don't know how I took this big decision. So yeah, Dad was sitting next to me. He was very patient, and I was like, Dad, I want to go to Korea. And I was like, okay, what are you gonna do? He was like, I want to attend language school. Just trust me for 6 months. I will attend language school for 6 months. But after that, I literally had no idea what to do. Like, I literally had no answers when my dad was asking me questions. But all I wanted was my dad to trust me, and he did that. He actually did that. I'm so grateful. And honestly, I don't know how I was able to convince my parents back then, because imagine your child comes to you and they're like, oh yeah, I'm dropping out and I have no plans. I'm going to language school to like another country. Like, I don't know if I would let my kid do that. Convincing mom wasn't that hard. So I started all the application process. My interview went well. I got selected. And then we applied for the visa, and then I moved to Korea. Remember when I was telling this to one of my cousin, he was like, you do know that your mental health is literally so bad right now, and moving abroad, I don't think it is a good choice for you to move abroad when your mental health is like that bad, that low, because you are going to feel alone. It is going to be very lonely in the beginning. But I decided to trust myself. I think I decided to trust my Korean skills more than myself. That I was like, you know what, I am going to survive there and I am going to make it. My language study visa, it lasted only for 6 months. I could have extended it, but I did not want it to extend it. I only wanted to do 2 semesters. 2 semesters for language school is minimum. So I did not want to do anything more than that because language school is crazy expensive. So just about when my visa was about to expire, I applied to a university to study like full-time undergraduate course. And the riskiest part is I only applied to one university, and that is my Korean university, like Yonsei University. When I applied this time, I was not scared of rejection or failure because I have faced it once already. So I was like, what could be the worst thing? Rejection. So what? I've already faced it. Like, do or die. That was literally my do or die situation. If I get into university, I will be able to stay here. If I don't, I'm going back home. Like, I'm literally going back to India. And I did not know what I was going to do in India. I had no plans. And I did not want to go to India. So I applied to this university. I sent my documents. The first round of results, I get that, and I get to know that I'm selected. And then there's an interview. And honestly, when I did give the interview for Yonsei, I knew that I was going to get in. I slayed the interview. It went so well. I was super confident, and even the professors, they were like, we're gonna see you super soon. These were the two risks that I took, dropping out with no plan and literally moving to another country, and then like only applying to one university. I wouldn't say all of this was easy. It was definitely hard, but it was fun because I liked it. Like, it was hard, but it was fun. I am out of my comfort zone. I tried new things, and now it's been 2 years, almost 1.5 to 2 years that I've been living in Korea. And I wouldn't say I'm at the best, but I am learning, I am growing. So this is your sign to take risks. I mean, I'm not telling you to like follow me or copy me because, things could have ended up really bad for me as well. But yeah, I just decided to trust and believe in myself and God and everything. And that worked out for me. So by taking risks, I mean, it could also be small risks. Like, for example, I moved out of my parents' house. That could be one. Taking risks, I don't mean like taking like really crazy big risks if you cannot do that. Let's say you want to be comfortable doing things alone, you want to solo travel, you want to do things by yourself, but you're not confident, you're scared of doing things alone. Start by eating alone, go to a cafe alone, then start by exploring a neighborhood alone, visit a state in your country alone, fly alone, take a train alone, take a bus alone. So that's how you're slowly getting out of your comfort zone and you become confident. Oh, for me, talking about doing things alone, I have always wanted to do things alone. Every time I see someone doing something alone, I used to think that they were really, really cool because, as I said, I've had strict parents. They were super strict. When I was in my high school, I was never allowed to go anywhere out of the house without them, or I was not even allowed to hang out with my friends. So I was so jealous of people who would like go out alone, travel solo, or like do anything solo. And I recently also went on my first solo trip to Japan. Again, my parents were kind of scared for me. They were like, oh, will you be able to do this, that, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I figured it out. I did it. I am super proud of myself. I think one of my other goals was solo travel alone in my 20s, like in my early 20s, and I did it. I think I could also see that my parents were also proud of me, especially my dad. Dad was like, oh yeah, she's like, she's confident enough to like go anywhere, like any part of the world, and she's gonna survive and be back. So yeah, this is my advice for you to take risks in your 20s and don't be boring. Like, do at least one thing that's out of your comfort zone today. You can start today, like literally. Maybe there's this hobby that you always wanted to try, but you were scared of what other people think or what other people are gonna like talk about you or judge you. Okay, I still have this. There's so many things that I want to do, but I'm scared of failure. It always doesn't have to be judgment from people, it could also be like judgment from yourself. I gave up on one of my hobbies because I judged myself. I was like, okay, I am not good enough. Nobody judged me. I've had people around me tell me I'm so good at it, but I judged myself. I was my worst critic and I almost gave up on it. I kind of want to start it again. I will. I don't know when. I will. I'm doing it slowly. So, yep, this is your sign to get out of your comfort zone, do something for yourself, do something new, and yep, that's it. I'm at the airport, still waiting for my flight, and I was bored, and this was the only thing that was in my mind, and I wanted to talk about it, and I was like, why not make a video on it, so that I could help you guys out. I think it is also my first time getting like that personal about myself, but yeah, I hope this is gonna help you. And if there's anything that's bothering you or in your mind right now, feel free to like put it down in the comments. I will try to give you some advice. I think I'm really good at giving other people advice, but that's what all my friends say. But they're like, you're really good at giving advice, but you don't apply that to yourself. So yeah, I would love to give some advice. So yeah, see you in my next one. I hope you enjoyed listening to this. And if you're still watching it, thank you for watching till the end. And yep, see you in my next one. Bye bye.